Celtic are known to be one of the best sides in Scottish footballing history. But recently, they've fallen into a little bit of a slump. Currently second in the Premiership behind Hearts of all teams. And with them sacking Brendan Rodgers and bringing in Martin O'Neill, who is 73, why don't they hire us instead in this FC 26 rebuild with Celtic FC? Before the video starts, can you please make sure to like, comment and share on this video, and please subscribe to the channel as it will help the channel so much. Thank you guys so much. So go on then, let's become the new manager of Celtic FC.
A warm welcome to you all. Without further delay, we are pleased to introduce your new manager.
So Jay is going to take over one of the best sides in Scottish footballing history, and we start off by just terminating the loans of everyone at the club. That's what I always do. We end up selling a couple of people, bringing in Zion Suzuki from Parma, who will become useful, and Ueda from Feyenoord, as well as selling some loanings to people in January. In the Europa League, we got through to the late rounds, but got knocked out on penalties by Romanian side FCSB, which is fine. In the league, we're already points ahead on the final day, next to Rangers, which means that we won the league on our first attempt in this FC 26 Celtics rebuild. A very good start to this Celtic rebuild, where we actually did catch up to Hearts in the end and actually did manage to win the league in our first season with Celtic. But winning the league with Celtic is easy. That's not the important aim. The important aim is to win a European competition. So in the second season, we signed Ache Irving, Kobowink, Romania, Gomez, so Jota, Osman, McGregor, Palmer, Wellston, Murray, Montgomery. Then we had to bring in people like Buenami, having to sell another bunch of people in the process so we can bring in Lucas Statin near the end of the transfer window. In the Champions League, we actually do cause an upset in the knockout rounds, as we do knock out Liverpool in the Champions League in our second season. When it came to Atletico Madrid, we was already 3-1 down, so you know what, we did well. We beat Liverpool, but just couldn't beat Atletico Madrid, which is fine. In the league, you know we won the league again. You know we quite single-handedly won the league again. But we're going to be playing our first game of this rebuild, which is going to be the Scottish Cup final up against Hearts, the team that Celtic is currently fighting with in real life to win the Scottish Premiership. But in this rebuild, we've now got them in one of the biggest stadiums in Scotland. Let's get to it. In the first half, nothing happened, which is fine. But then we had to make our substitutions, which we brought on Ake, Bernardo, Romano, Gomez and Kobowik. We had to make our changes to get this game rolling. And then what's this? Bernardo gets the ball, runs basically half the pitch length, sees the opportunity through to Ake off the bench, shoots it first time to make it Celtic 1, Hearts 0 within 77 minutes in this Scottish Cup final. We're doing well. We're doing well. And luckily, we held on right until the 91st minute to win our second trophy of the season and our first cup in this FC 26 rebuild. Full-time, Celtic 1, Hearts 0. Again, seeing a club like this with this much pedigree and legacy winning the cups is important. And here comes Carter Vickers, the American, to lift the Scottish Cup for Celtic in this rebuild. Bringing in the people that we have so far, giving that young Donovan a start at right back has been one of the best choices we've done in this rebuild to win a double in our second season as Celtic manager. Again, this is just the easy stuff. This is just the easy stuff. Of course, winning the league and the cup would be like a big accomplishment, but when it comes to Celtic in this league, it's not really. I mean, we're winning titles, that's fine, but we've got to keep the ball moving into the Champions League. So that's why we're bringing people like Marin, Portiella, Che Adams we bought in. We had to sell Gomez, he wasn't happy, but we bought in Ryan Gold, and we bought Lennon Miller back to Scotland for £17.2 million, which will become useful later. So in the Champions League, drawing against the French side, winning 4-2 on aggregate, good for us. And another shock in the Champions League, 2-1 up against Bayern Munich in the first game. We win 5-2 against the Germans. But it's when it's Real Madrid, you know you're just going to get knocked out, and there's no shame in getting knocked out to Real Madrid at this point. of the season. In the league, of course, we go ahead and win the Scottish Premiership again, even though we do lose to Rangers on the final day. And in the Scottish Cup, a chance to do the double, which we just about do, as the right back Donovan gets the win, trusting the youth talent in this team again. And there we go, another double. And now you're like thinking, oh wait, didn't we just see this clip about 2 minutes ago? No, I promise it's a different clip. I mean, it's the same animation, but I promise you that new players have come in and changed the Celtic side for the best. As we're bringing people like Beck, Ramsey, Asnali, bringing back Young Hyun Jun, brought in Jeltic and Kaya to be the new starting centre-backs because we had to sell Carter Vickers, who was like 30. Had to sell some other people as well who we thought grew out the squad. But in the Champions League, currently 3-1 up against Napoli. Managed to win 2-1 on the day, 5-2 on aggregate. Against Leverkusen, I thought we would have been fine being 1-0 up. But unfortunately, we get knocked out 2-1 to the Germans. In the final day of the league, again against Rangers, we draw. But of course, you know, that means we win the league. We won the league. In the Cup, we've got Aberdeen, which we smashed them 5-0. It's fine. We just went ahead and just smashed the league. Went ahead and smashed the Cup. I was disappointed in the Champions League run. But that means since we won the double once again, of course, we will get another chance to go ahead and try and win the UEFA Champions League in this FC 26 rebuild. Please like, comment and subscribe. It does help out the channel. But that's when it gets a bit serious. We're bringing Curtis, Gilmore, Reese, Wilson. But we had to bring in the big players. And in the Champions League, we first start off by beating Inter Milan 2-1 in the Champions League. Next up was English side Chelsea, already having the 2-1 lead, which we managed to keep after a 0-0 draw against Chelsea. In the quarter-finals now, we got Napoli currently 3-2 up, 2-2, 5-4 in aggregate. I'm not going to lie, I did play against Barcelona myself in the first leg. I just wanted to get through to the final. I hope you don't blame me, but I just wanted this rebuild to be done so well. But we got a lot of games to play first. We have the chance to win the treble. As you can see, Celtic are on 81 points. Rangers are on 80. If we can win against Rangers today, we will start the treble process, as I'm going to call it. In the first half, Nygren passes the ball over through to Statin, who has been here since the second season I took over as the Celtic manager in this FC 26 rebuild, to give us the lead within 9 minutes to make it 1-0 to Celtic. But then Miller gets the ball through to Stasin again, bangs it straight into that bottom corner within 15 minutes to make it Celtic 2, Rangers 0. I think the league might become the easiest part of this treble process, as Dassin gets the ball and he goes ahead, tries to get his hat-trick, of course gets past the whole entire Rangers defence, and he makes it 3-0 within 49 minutes in this final game of the Scottish Premiership. Celtic 3, Rangers 0. Of course, we can simulate the rest of the game. It doesn't matter. Celtic 4, Rangers 1. We start the treble process off nicely by winning the league on the final day, which I don't know how we're doing final days with this team, but regardless, to win the Scottish Premiership against the bitter rivals, Rangers. And here we go. The captain to lift the Scottish Premiership for Celtic. The first trophy out of 3 that we're hopefully going to attempt in the second major half of this rebuild, because next up we've got to rotate, because we are away at the biggest stadium in Scotland for the Scottish Cup final against Hearts. Again, like I said at the start of the rebuild, the team that is currently first in the Scottish Premiership, who's been doing really well in the competition, I'm not going to lie. But here we go, let's start. Billy Gilmore gets a good tackle through over to Curtis, who I just trust just to cut inside and bang it, which is what he manages to do, past the Hearts goalkeeper to make it Celtic 1, Hearts 0 within 27 minutes of this game. But then Agu gets the ball, passes it through to the winger, who within 59 minutes actually manages to get the equaliser today for Celtic, and this is the price I pay for rotating when we need to. And that's when I realised in the 68th minute that we got to bring our stats in. Benani, Coughlin and Engels are 4 of our major players to try and change this cup final and to get us the treble, which doesn't actually work the way I want it to, because Van Zier actually gets the lead for Hearts. But then right before the end, Hearts gets a corner, passes it down through to Burinani off the cross by the Celtic player. Sees Staten, the guy who gets us the Scottish Premiership a couple of minutes ago, who I trust just to go up, shoot and score past the Hearts players to make it 2-2. And in extra time, Staten gets the ball again, passes it through to an open Burinani to make it 3-2. 114 minutes into the Scottish Cup final. I think we're going to do it. I think we're going to win the Scottish Cup. But just to make sure we do, we have to bring on Suzuki, who's been here since season 1 and is now reaping the benefits. But that is going to be enough. Celtic 3, Hearts 2 in the Scottish Cup final to win the second trophy of what is becoming closer to becoming a Celtic treble. Full time, Celtic 3, Hearts 2. It was a close one, but we managed to do it. As we are now going to go ahead and lift the Scottish Cup trophy number 2 for the season. Now, we're always winning second trophies. We always win 2 trophies, that's fine. But we've got to go for the biggest one in Europe, which is going to be the UEFA Champions League at Wembley Stadium against English side Arsenal. Imagine we live in a world where Celtic is facing Arsenal at Wembley Stadium in the UEFA Champions League final. I would absolutely lose my head. But in the first half, Saka gets a corner, threw it over to Bremer, who doesn't get it, and luckily we save it to make it 0-0 at the half. But then, right before the end of the game, we get a chance. Benani through to Stasin, who manages to go wide. So it's going to be 0-0 going into extra time. And we've got to make our changes. Billy Gilmore, Wilson, Hungyun and Reese is going to be all coming on in extra time in this final. But then what's this? Nygren gets the ball, passes it through over to Wilson, and it's offside. I thought that was going to be it. I thought the youngster won it, but unfortunately not. But what's this? Kaya, straight through to Gilmore, straight through to Wilson, passes it to Kathleen, waits for it, passes it to Yang Hun-jun, who manages to get the goal to win Celtic the Champions League. The OG of this rebuild has managed to score the final goal to win Celtic the Champions League in this FC 26 rebuild. Which is correct. Celtic 1, Arsenal 0. It is written, it is done. The Scottish side has now won the biggest trophy in Europe, and we have now won the legacy treble in this career mode. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. As I'm going to gift Kieran Tierney, who's been here since season 1, to lift the UEFA Champions League for Celtic from going to not be wanted at Arsenal to winning the Champions League, all while staying in the same squad. Well done to him. And well done to the lads, as the UEFA Champions League champions are going to be the Scottish side, Celtic FC. And before we go, I want to highlight a couple of players. Stasin, Suzuki, Miller, Engels, Nygren, Kathleen, people who've been here since the very beginning. We have built such an amazing squad with Celtic. It's been an amazing rebuild to do. It's been a fun rebuild to do. But here we go, the moment I've been waiting to see for this whole entire rebuild, which there it is, the 3 trophies. I have made Celtic FC treble winners in this FC 26 rebuild. What an amazing job done by me and the players. Like, comment, subscribe, peace. So, you've reached the end of the video. Thank you. That actually goes a long way towards helping the channel. Thank you very much. I hope the video was fun. Hopefully, it was fun. Please make sure to check the other videos out on this channel, and please make sure to subscribe to the channel. It does help out a lot. Thank you.